Have you got some digestives? I'm not being funny. I mean,
yeah, of course.
And you're a dipper. I mean, you're a dipper, right? Look at Taylor's face. Look at his little face.
Taylor,
look.
honestly, you just
He's
dip it in.
What
you hold
in God's
it.
name are you doing?
Not too long.
No.
Little dab.
Can I be
if
honest with you,
Oh
Theo?
my God, that looks unbelievable. That looks incredible.
No, that looks amazing.
incredible.
You know what turned me off?
Yeah.
What the is a digestive biscuit?
It's.
That makes it sound like it's a laxative.
Well, it is the amount I would eat. So basically, they're like the original graham cracker, right? Theo, in America, they have these biscuits called graham crackers, even though it's Graham, right? You're not allowed to say Graham in America. They say Graham. It's a Graham. So it's it's a graham cracker. They use them for s'mores. So it's a slightly moister, slightly more buttery graham cracker is a digestive right there. And I also don't say no to a rich tea.
Oh, but the rich tea doesn't absorb it. It doesn't absorb the tea.
It does if you leave it in a long time. There, you've got to. The thing about the rich tea I like is you leave it in a good amount of time and it starts to wobble a little bit, and you've got to catch it in the mouth before it drops into the tea and ends up. Then you need a spoon. Then you're digging a spoon. You're getting your little bit of bicky out. It's unbelievable scenes. Anyway.
Taylor, you're missing out. You're missing out.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
You are missing out.
All of this sounds so lovely. Dipping my fingers in the tea, grabbing the soggy cracker. You lost me with digestive biscuit. There's got to be a different name for that.
Right. There isn't. It's it's one of those names though. Actually, funny enough, when you do go somewhere outside of English and you go outside of England, you're like, that is a funny name. But you know when like it's been in your life forever, you just accept it's the digestive. Like, what's the big deal? Now I'm like, that is a weird name for a biscuit. You're right. But I do think maybe, Theo, I think you could, rather than me, reach out to McVitie's, who makes digestives, and send Taylor a box of digestive biscuits. Yeah. All right.
Absolutely.
And send me some Pepto-Bismol too, Theo.
All right. We got some soccer to get into.
That's my only criticism when I watch England. Why be scared?
Just go out there. You want to just see the leash, unleash them, right?
He's lost all 7. He's lost the plot. He's going to like the 4th or 5th or 6th ranked club in Turkey. Like, what a fall from grace.
He's done his job in that sense. But no one cares about that. The fans care about winning things and buying the best player. 9
games, 3 in the league, 6 some point next year, for me isn't enough. This week, right, we are not starting with England, which most people would have thought we probably would, right? Because Theo, former England, me, English. But actually, we kind of decided, me and Pat, the producer, that the bigger story is the absolute hash that is going on, being made by, is it Pochettino? Is it the US men's national team? The players? So they lost 2-0 to South Korea on Saturday in a friendly. Heung-min Son got one of the goals. And they are on a losing run. It is a bad situation since Mauricio Pochettino took charge of the US men's national team. They've got Japan to come, which we, of course, were recording before that game. So who knows, Taylor? They might come out and beat Japan and give everyone a lot of hope. Pochettino today has come out with a bit of a rant about criticism. He's come out and he's just said, if you want to critique and it's a critique, then fine. But if you're going to criticise, then I'm basically not having it. Is it... Oh, by the way, Mauricio Pochettino also said they were the better team.
Yes.
Which even I could see. They absolutely weren't the better team. So, there are calls for the US Soccer Federation to make a change. Why is it not working, Taylor? Is it him or is it the players? Go.
7 games. 7 games against the FIFA top 30. And we will not have a discussion about the FIFA rankings because all 3 of us agree it's a convoluted way. But it does give you a good macro sense of the type of opponents they're playing. Mauricio Pochettino has played 7 teams ranked in the FIFA top 30. He's lost all 7. He's lost all 7. Now, it'd be really different if he lost all 7 and they lost them, Theo, you know this, Rebecca, you know this, where you're losing it at the end of a game because you're making 6 subs and the flow of the game's completely different. But in all 7 games, the game's been over at halftime. The game's been over. So whether it's the 11 he picks to start, whether it's the roster he picks to start the camp, whether it's the tactics he picks to start the game, whatever it may be, he's lost me. He's lost me. Now, what's really, really, really bothering me at the moment is don't talk down to the fan and don't talk down to the U.S. soccer men's national team, in particular, the alumni. Because that's what he's talking about when it comes to the criticism. It's all of us that played that are now in this position to talk and ask questions and to criticize, because he's talking about the TV and print media. You two know this better than anyone. It's not as if our media is all of a sudden knocking down the doors to talk about the U.S. men's national team. I saw an unbelievable article and chart, so to speak, about the growth of the game in the United States. And over the last 10 years, the growth of the game, the global game, whether it's Major League Soccer, the Premier League, the Bundesliga, whatever it may be, the women, the FIFA World Cup, whatever it may be, it's grown 300 to 400%. The interest in the U.S. men's national team has gone down over 150%. Now, Theo, for the longest time, we were told in the United States of America, the growth of the game is synonymous in parallel to how well the U.S. men are doing. And right now, on September 8th, when us three are having this conversation, that is no longer the truth. Because the reality is this, and this is what Mauricio Pochettino doesn't fully understand. The fan is much more educated than they were 10 years ago. Much more educated than they were 20 years ago. Because now we're being exposed to the highest level of games week in and week out, whether it's the Premier League, the Bundesliga, the growth of MLS, whatever it may be, guys. And so now you can't tell us that you were the better team against South Korea, because the first 45 minutes, Rebecca, you and I watched the same game. They got completely played off the pitch. Mm-hmm. He's lost the plot. Mm-hmm. He's lost the plot.
Can I ask how the fact the English media across here, I feel, is definitely different to how does it compare to the States? Because obviously Pochettino would be used to the criticism in England, and I thought he did extremely well. So you would have thought he would be able to not just play them, but understand that side of it. Of he knows what it takes to become a manager. He's not going to be. Is it worse in England? Like, I don't know where I'm going with this, but is it worse in England?
Theo, I am so grateful that you asked that question.
You should
Do you
deal
think
with it,
if the media was doing this in England, he would have said this to the media? That's what I'm talking. He's talking down to the media because he's like, you American media, you don't know what it's like. You have no idea what we do.
So he's living, Taylor, he's living in the world of 20 years ago, or 10 years ago, where a lot of Europe and a lot of South America were like, oh, little America.
Yes.
They don't really like soccer, do they? But they're just starting to try. That's kind of where he's living. And he's thinking that the audience is those people. Whereas if you've spent any time in this country over the last 15 years, you know that is not true. Here's my question. Do you think he should go?
No, because they've invested too much in it, and they put the cart before the horse with him. Rebecca, I'm not going to waste the listeners' time on this. This type of move should have been made right after the 22 World Cup. And the moment we failed in Copa America in our backyard and didn't get out of the group phase, we wasted 2 years to prepare for a home World Cup. Right now, I think it'd be detrimental. Now, in saying that, how often have we seen Morocco in the 22 World Cup, Mexico in 2014, where if you make a change right before, roughly 6 to 8 months before, it galvanizes the group? So, Rebecca, I think it's a fair question. Right now on September 8th, I think I'm fair to say I may change my mind, but I'm not sure I'm doing it right now.
So how far does he need to get then in the World Cup? Obviously, they only reached round of 16 in Qatar, didn't they, back in 22, so to keep his job.
Theo, on this very podcast, we interviewed him at the beginning of last season, and he said he thinks they can get to the quarterfinals. Bearing in mind this is a bigger, expanded World Cup, you have 2 knockout stages before you get to the quarterfinals. You know what I mean? It's a last 32, then it's a last 16, then it's a quarterfinal. So he believes that. From the evidence so far, Theo, it doesn't look like they're getting to the quarterfinals of the World Cup, the top 8 in the world. It doesn't look that way. So you know him, Theo, from managing Spurs, from managing Southampton, like from his excellent CV. Are you surprised that he hasn't managed to do something? Because the whole point of having a coach is to make players better. Now, no one's saying the US men's national team are going to win the World Cup, but he has good players. Are they great? Possibly not. He has good players, whether they're in the Championship, whether they're in Serie A, whether in the Premier League. There's a sprinkling there of good players, but he's not made any of them better. Is that, Theo, do you think you've been in the situation that he just doesn't get very much time with them? Can you give him that bit of grace?
Look, it's always difficult, of course, when you have a period of time when you've been a manager who's been doing a league team, because it's every day, it's constant, it's flow, it's, you're always switched on. But with this, with international, he's new to it. So even with Thomas Tuchel, which we'll go on to, I'm sure, but it's a different mindset you've got to go into thinking, oh, I miss that day to day. However, it's going back to the fact that I feel like a lot of coaches are asking players to do things that they can't do anymore. And they're just, and it's creating those systems again. But no, you need to deal with the players you have in hand. And it obviously isn't the case. And I can't stand when managers say, we want to get to this stage. I'd rather you just say, look, we want to go and enjoy our experiences, first World Cup for many, just that side of it. Don't even think about where you're going to finish, because considering off the previous 20-odd years, it's not been great. And like you said, add all those other games into it now. I mean, of course, they did really well against England, 0-0, but there's only so much you can do when it comes to international football. There's that pressure, but they will have the fans on their side, I suppose. They will. They have a different side of it. So it'll be a different feel for the players.
There isn't really much of a following wind over here, though, Theo. There isn't really much of a... you play against South Korea and it's full of South Korea fans. You play against Mexico and it's full of Mexico fans in the United States. It's a home World Cup, and like Taylor says, there isn't really a following wind. There's no momentum. There's nothing to grab hold of and be excited about. Without getting into the weeds, and just to wrap this up, Taylor, the system that he's playing, I'm interested in, because there's a lot of talk. Stuart Holden talked about how you guys should be more pragmatic. You should have 5 at the back and just be more 3 at the back and be more pragmatic and stop all this fannying around, for want of a better phrase, and just try and just be more. This is who we are. And stop trying to be, this is who we would one day love to be.
So he's got no identity at the moment in their team. They've got no identity.
No, Theo, we have no identity. But I raised this question in 2014, and you guys both remember the United States played Belgium. And if they win that game, they play Messi and Argentina in the World Cup quarterfinal. Tim Howard made a World Cup record, 15, 16 saves, whatever it was. Yet Clint Dempsey and Chris Wondolowski missed 2 glorious opportunities. If they make them, they win, okay? Now, why do I bring that up? Everyone in the world was like, can we ever play against the top 10 countries in the world? The Belgiums, the Brazils, the Argentinas, the Englands, the Germanys. We've got to get better with possession. We've got to get all this. And I said quite simply, sure, but we can't lose who we are. And who are we? We're very athletic. We always have been as a country, no matter what sport we are. We've got camaraderie. We've got belief. Sometimes we punch above our weight in things that we shouldn't, because we all come together and we believe in that. We have completely, as the United States men, have lost that. So now we're sitting here saying, well, this golden generation of player, which, by the way, I need to raise my hand. I've labeled them the golden generation of player because of where they're playing at the club level. But the reality is, at the international level, nobody in the previous generations, just so we know, factual, this isn't an opinion, has ever gone on a run like this. We've never lost 7 straight games to teams ranked in the top 30 in the world. So, Theo, we've completely lost the fact that we have to be who we are. And that is, we're going to outwork you. We're going to punch you in the face. We're going to make your life difficult. And if we score on a set piece, great, but that's how we do it. And then we can sprinkle in Christian Pulisic and Weston McKennie. But Rebecca, to your point, yes, we should be playing 3 center backs. We should be playing 2 dogs in the midfield. We should be playing our pace out wide and own it. It doesn't matter what it looks like when the score at the end of the day is 1 for the U.S. and the opponent's 0. It doesn't matter. None of that matters.
I don't think, I'm not sure, I speak for these players and I don't know, but I don't think they realise what is coming next summer. Oh,
God, no, they
I
don't.
don't think they realise the opportunities for them off the field, opportunities for life-changing memories on the field. I just don't get the sense that they know and they really understand what is coming. Is that because they're young? Is that because they haven't thought about it enough? Is that because this country is yet to jump on their bandwagon? But this country, yes, it wants to win, but it doesn't get a lot of opportunities, Theo, to be a country in sport. So in the Olympics, everyone's Team USA, okay? And when the USA play Canada in ice hockey, it's massive, okay? But they don't, basketball and baseball and American football, they don't play internationals, not properly internationals, a little bit at the Olympics, but not properly. So outside of the Olympic Games, there is no time where this country can come together behind one team, pretty much no time. So they need to realise what a huge moment this is. We're talking about identity, okay? And that US men's national team is lacking identity. Theo, for me, your old team, England, under Thomas Tuchel, are also lacking identity. Yes, they beat Andorra. Well done, 2-0. And we haven't yet played Serbia away at the time of recording. So again, I caveat this by saying perhaps they'll all turn up. And again, it's the system is another conversation we need to have, because he clearly doesn't actually want to play a number 10, which we've all been discussing over the past couple of years of how he's going to play Bellingham, or maybe he'll play Foden in the 10, or whoever. He clearly just wants to play 2 8s, I think, in this England team, and maybe play Bellingham further. I don't know. It's kind of interesting, but he's now talking about he wants long throws, he wants longer balls, he wants to be more pragmatic. And we've just said, that's fine. But this is an England team which arguably shouldn't have to do that. This is an England team that needs an identity of more possession, of playing out the back, of playing lovely football, with the track record that they're coming off, Theo. Where is the identity for England? And are you surprised that Tuchel hasn't created it yet?
I laugh at this because... The reason why I laugh is because we could still win games, and he's got all these options, and it's frustrating. But I tell you what, now when it comes to tournament football, England understand the pressure of how far to go, and I think he realises this. And I think the fact he's tried so many players, I think he's tried over 30 odd players, so he's not dead set on his particular lineup. He's not set on his squad. I generally feel he knows the players will get the result. He just needs to see them in different positions, and then he'll pick those best players. But again, it's like he has all these options. We're all crying out for a free-flowing, fast, attractive football. Well, I am. I'll be honest with you right now as well. Playing out from the back, but quicker. I can't stand quicker. That's the only issue when you get centre halves.
Why can't he do that, Theo, now? Why can't he can play all the different players, but surely if they're good enough, they can still play quicker now against Andorra.
I will tell you this, though. There's a mindset in players, and maybe it's changed now, but I'm starting to feel it. When I was playing, the fact is so early on the season, players understand they can kind of get through these games without really trying. I know that sounds awful, but I'm telling you, a lot of them at times will not be going full in for tackles, which is really sad to see, because obviously you've got a lot of people who come to watch games, travel so far, but they still get the results, and it is a results business, and Tuchel is only in there for a short period of time to get results. He ain't there to be playing attractive football, it looks like. So for me, we'll only be judged when he gets to the World Cup.
You sound like you're all in on Tuchel. Are you all in?
Oh no, I'm not all in. I'm all in results.
You're
and
not.
He's doing that. He's doing results, but
Right.
I want to... quite frankly, who remembers Greece when they won the Euros?
Yeah,
I mean,
but
they
Greece
were pretty
didn't
exciting,
have
though,
the players that England has, Theo. You know this.
Exactly, and I just think he's got too many problems with a lot of players who want to play the same position, and it's trying to manage the person, not the player, for those particular parts, because he's got some big egos. He's got some big... Not even the players, but even people away from the game as well. We spoke about there's a voice everywhere now for football. Mm-hmm. He's got players' families, he's got players' friends, he's got everything on his back pretty much. And I'm not saying I feel for him. I think it's a great position to be in when you're picking the England team, because I'll tell you right now, I will be picking the most energetic, free players. Just go out there. You want to just see the leash, unleash them, right?
Let me ask you two a question. Can you guys honestly tell me, and Theo, I say this out of the utmost respect of you and your generation, can you tell me when England had this many options in the final third? Because I don't remember it.
No, just the last 5 years.
Of
I think
this
it's the
quality.
last 5 years. Yeah, the last 5 years
I can't
has been
argue.
a time where it's like now. It needs to happen now.
It does. It does. But look, they know that's why they employed him. But again, it's the same issue with he's a club manager, and it's a different way of managing a team. He needs more time with them, and he hasn't got enough time. But he will.
But what was
during the
Gareth
tournament.
Southgate's number one criticism? For you guys, tell me what was the criticism over there? Because I'll tell you eventually what I thought the criticism should have been. But what was it over there? Eventually, watching Gareth Southgate's England, too conservative, correct? And my only question is this: is let the horses run the race.
Yeah.
And I've never seen. I've lived my life this way. Part of the reason why my career ended early. But scared money doesn't make money. If you're gonna go all in. And when I watch this England team at the club level, if I'm an English fan, if I'm English, I've never been more thrilled to see this culmination of players come together and see what it looks like. It isn't going to be easy. You've got 6 left-sided players, 5 right-sided players. As a manager, I don't want to play as a 10. But my word, if I find the right concoction and find the right players to come off the bench, Theo, they scare the living shit out of everybody in the world. Why not play that way? It goes completely against the DNA of England. I get it. But that's part of the change. That's part of where Gareth Southgate kind of opened the door to say, why? That's my only criticism when I watch England. Why be scared? Because the players are not scared at the club level, but then the moment they play for Three Lions and they put on the crest and all that, it's like, oh, okay, we're going to win 1-0? Screw it, win 4-1, win 4-3. Theo, they've got the horses to win that type of race right now. They really do.
I'll be honest as well. The game was early, so I was so occupied with the children. I've seen highlights and I've looked at reviews, but I generally thought I knew exactly how it was going to go. I kind of looked at everything. I thought, oh yeah, 2-0, rubbish kind of performance, quite slow and timid. Yeah, I kind of expected that because that's just the England way at the moment to get to tournaments, just to get to tournaments. And it's that side. Go and just let loose. We want to see it.
I just feel like,
go win
Rebecca, they've never had these type of players where they could really be on the front foot for 90 minutes.
They've had some good ones on the right-hand side.
My husband and I. One of we. Guys, we've got to move on to a little bit of a roundup, right, of the rest of the things that have been going on in the Premier League and everywhere else over the course of the last week or so. So Daniel Levy's left Spurs. That came out of the blue. Theo, he's left his role as the executive chairman of Tottenham Hotspur after nearly 25 years at the club. They won 2 trophies in his time, 2008 League Cup, Europa League 2025, new stadium, new training grounds. And actually, I think if I'm a Tottenham fan, Theo, I'm thinking, This is good. Daniel Levy had a place, and there's lots of things he did great, but this is good. They don't want to sell. They're all in, and they're basically saying they're going to spend money. This is what Spurs fans want to hear, Theo.
Yeah, they do. But I think everyone needs to forget separating the football and the business and the ownership and everything. What Daniel Levy created with that stadium and the multi-purpose of the stadium itself and everything it's attracted in that sense of some sponsors and some great events. I've been to some great events there as well. He's done his job in that sense. But like you just said there, no one cares about that. The fans care about winning things and buying the best player, the most expensive players. I understand, and getting the best manager, which they've got a potentially very good one. So I just felt like he was the face to the problems that was going on. I think he kind of took it on the chin, and I think it takes a brave man to do that. It really does. I think he's probably just had enough and thinks, do you know what?
Yeah, life's too short.
I can quit while I'm ahead. I can quit while I'm ahead right now. We won
or I
the
think,
Euros.
or he's
done.
been pushed. He's been pushed to one side, which we don't yet know. Stories now are coming out that maybe the Lewis family have said to him, thank you for the 25 years. We've now won another trophy. If you don't mind just making a little bit of way. I mean, either way, I do think, Taylor, that he should be recognised for everything that he has done. And I know the Spurs fans don't like him, or a lot of them don't like him. And the things that are off the field are connected to on the field, because I'm not being funny. If you're a potential player and you see that training ground and you see that stadium, you want to go and play for Spurs over even Chelsea at times, maybe, as long as the wages are high, which obviously weren't always that high there. But he has done a great job.
Absolutely he has. And by the way, the off-the-field stuff, to your point, though, that brought up the lackluster facilities, for lack of a better way, the American enemies coming out of Manchester United and their training ground. So Tottenham raised the bar on everything off the field. That eventually becomes a recruiter. That eventually comes into the equation. I get what fans are talking about. So does Theo. So does Rebecca. I get it. But 25 years in the same place, we're talking about Tottenham for a reason. All in all, I think 10 years from now, he should be looked at in a positive light.
We talked about the Manchester United goalkeeping situation a few weeks ago, and Andre Onana this week has agreed to join Trabzonspor in Turkey on
sorry,
loan.
Is this mic on? Is this on? Sorry.
He came in, well, I think you're not alone amongst the Manchester United fans. I heard one saying that, he checked his Amex card to see if he had enough points to fly him to Turkey because they absolutely want him out the club, which is a bit harsh. Or is it? Because the weird thing about Andre Onana is that the club for a long time have been saying he's one of the best goalkeepers in the Premier League, okay? But then the stats tell you two stories. Since the start of last season, no goalkeepers made more errors that lead to goals for Premier League clubs in all competitions than Manchester United's Andre Onana. But also, since the start of 23-24, only Jordan Pickford has prevented more goals based on Opta's expected goals model in the Premier League than Manchester United's Andre Onana. Either way,
because
it's a
he's
fall
given it
from
away
grace
to
when
the
you...
attacking player, and then he has to dive back into his goal and save exactly. I mean,
Well,
he's writing
you're
his
right.
own
He
formula.
spilt it. Yeah, I mean, he came in, didn't he, from Inter Milan in 2023 after that Champions League final. And Altay Bayındır'a started all three Premier League games. So he's obviously not going to find. They've brought in the young kid as well. So he's obviously not got a place. But Theo, it's just weird because they've waited so long to make this move, and it's not like he's going to a big club. He's going to like the 4th or 5th or 6th ranked club in Turkey. Like, what a fall from grace.
Well, he'd look good in that team, wouldn't he? But however, I'm not like... I don't like to really critique keepers, particularly when I watch goals or if I see something, because obviously not being a keeper. However, every time I see him not make a save, I'm like, I feel like you should do better there. I feel like you need to be a bit more present. It's always that. It's that look there, Rebecca. You just did it. It's like, that's easy. Even and I'm not normally like that for keepers because I stay away from them because they're different. When I say different, they're a bit stir crazy. He doesn't seem that type. He just seems like he's too busy how he looks because he always pulls up the socks, and that's a reflection to his problems. Actually, he has when he makes a mistake. He needs to just really hide. And a keeper, they need characters at Man United. They haven't had it for many years since probably David De Gea was a bit of a character. Van der Sar, Schmeichel was probably the biggest one, of course. Yep. He ain't a Manchester United keeper, and I think it's okay to say that. But Man United have backed him so much, which was the problem. Yeah, I think it'd be good for him. I think it'd be good for his career just to forget about his Man United stint, which was too short-lived. But yeah, too many goals conceded, which were errors, big errors. That's his problem.
Taylor,
I don't know how you felt about it as well.
I just was still stuck on you not talking about goalkeepers. I just invite goalkeepers to go have a beer or a pint. That's all the goalkeepers are good for. Spoken like two attacking players. Listen, like for you and I to critique goalkeepers, listen, just get the ball out of the back of the net. Let's move on.
Yeah.
I think here it's less maybe critiquing Andre Onana and maybe more critiquing Manchester United's
It's
slow
Manchester
movement.
United.
Their slow movement and getting him out, but also recruiting him in the first place. Their recruitment is and continues to be absolutely
£47 million for that.
I know. And now he's gone on loan to Trabzonspor. I mean, he must be wondering how his career has come to this. Chaps, the other thing I need to talk to you about is Luis Suarez, who I think I'm right in saying, Taylor, has been banned for 9 games, 6 in the Leagues Cup, 3 from Major League Soccer that's just happened, for spitting at the end of that Leagues Cup final against Seattle Sounders. So 9 games, but just explain to our listeners, will it actually be 9 games? Because 6 of them are not until next season, right? How does that work?
Yeah, fair question, because 6 are in the Leagues Cup competition, which is where Seattle and Inter Miami happened, and that's where they played, and that's where the incident occurred. What's interesting is a lot of people are going to say, well, we don't even know if he's going to play Leagues Cup next year. 10 days before the Leagues Cup final, Rebecca and Theo, Suarez came out and said he's very interested in re-signing with Miami. It can be at a different pay scale. He wants to retire with Messi. He wants to open up the new stadium. I think Major League Soccer looked at that because Leagues Cup handles 1 suspension and says, yeah, he's probably going to re-sign. That's where 6 games comes in. 3 is consistent. They did this with Hector Herrera, Houston Dynamo. He spit in the direction of the referee. He got 3 games. I'm completely fine with 9 games. I think it's the right way to do it, and I'm glad Major League Soccer added on to what the Leagues Cup suspension was.
Theo, do you think that Inter Miami should cut ties with Luis Suarez?
Yeah, my point is the fact that Inter Miami opening up a new stadium and this new attractive style of football and everything. Why would you want someone associated with your club who does something like that, who has done things like this in the past and will continue to do things like this because he's always got that in him? I would want to cut ties with him if it was my football club because I wouldn't want someone to represent me in that way. So, look, 9 games is what it is, isn't it? But yeah, I wouldn't want it on my club at all. Even as a teammate, you just think, come on, like this is not acceptable.
Agreed.
To play with him now.
I just think that's interesting, Taylor, that you're saying about the other precedents, about the guy that spat in the direction of the referee. This wasn't in the direction of anybody. This was point blank in the guy's face. 9 games, 3 in the league, 6 some point next year, for me isn't enough because that's not really setting an example for the children today who are like, oh, so I can spit in someone's face and just not play 3 games of football. You've both told me this is the worst thing that can happen to a footballer on a field. It's pretty much the worst thing that can happen in the street as well. It's horrific. And 3 + 6, I don't know. I'm not sure that's setting a strong enough precedent. Picks of the week, chaps. This is the standings as it sits in this early season stage. Theo won, Rebecca won. We're level on top of this very extensive table.
This is how many weeks have we picked it? We've only got 1. Oh my God!
I know. Well, you got 0, Taylor, so you can pipe down. Right, we'll start with the Manchester. We'll start with the Manchester derby, Sunday, 11:30 Eastern. Oh, I can't wait for this. We need a score and an any-time goal scorer. Taylor.
City 2-1, Holland.
Theo.
Oh, yeah. I will go for City 3-1.
Ooh, you almost said 4.
I did.
Kind of like it.
I did.
I kind of like it. I kind of like it.
Don't tempt me. 3-1. And I will also go Haaland. You have to go Haaland.
Yeah, you have to.
Okay. I'm going to go 3-2 City, but Bruno Fernandes, because I feel like you also have to go Bruno Fernandes when Manchester United score, because basically nobody else does. Let's talk about Arsenal Nottingham Forest. Yeah, Saturday 7:30 a.m. Eastern. That's the first game on your weekend's schedule. We just need a score for this one. Arsenal Nottingham Forest. Theo.
I always hate games after international break. Sorry, they always start off pretty sloppy. I will go for a 1-0 Arsenal.
I'll take 2-0.
1-0 to the Arsenal.
Same reason though.
2-0 from Taylor. Okay, and I'm going to go 2-0. I'm also going to go 2-0. And then the last one from Major League Soccer, which is Charlotte against the lot that we were just talking about, Inter Miami. I need a score from you, Taylor. Charlotte, Inter Miami, Saturday.
Yeah, Charlotte's
Dean under Smith. Dean Smith, by the way, Theo Walcott. Dean Smith is the manager of Charlotte.
So to give you a little bit, they will. And Zaha's been pretty good. I'm going to take 1-1. I'm going to take a draw on this. I'm going to take a draw.
1-1.
Yeah.
Theo.
I'll go 2-0 Charlotte.
Wow. Okay, 2-0 Charlotte. Yeah, and I'm going to go 2-1 into Miami. 2-1 into Miami. Okay, we will update that. If you want to send us in what you think is going to happen. Also, while you're at it, send us in your questions because we've got a couple of minutes left for one community question. It's come in to us on YouTube at AJH7088. As a Mancunian, they say, living in the US, I support Manchester United, but have also chosen a Major League Soccer team, Portland Timbers, because of the Phil Neville link. What is Theo and Rebecca's Major League Soccer team and why? And what is Taylor's Premier League team and why? So I'll start because I have San Diego FC shirt behind me. The reason is I picked them beginning of this season, because we're still in this very first season of San Diego's, right, Taylor? Because they were brand new this season as a franchise. And I just love the city, I'll be honest, it's not very far away. We go on vacation there all the time. I really like the kit. And I kind of like a brand new franchise that comes off the ground with like a lot of energy. And what I want to know is where all these flipping San Diego fans, what were they doing before San Diego arrived? Because they have got tens of thousands of fans. And we went down to see them play in the Palm Springs. There's like a Palm Springs Invitational
preseason
tournament. Yes. Yeah. And it was just San Diego fans everywhere, nobody else. So I just thought, you know what? I'm going to jump right on this bandwagon and we're going to be San Diego FC. So that's who I like. Theo, do you have a team in Major League Soccer, and if so, who are they?
LA Galaxy because of David Beckham.
Shocker.
So, like, generally...
Theo! But then you have to switch it into Miami then now.
I don't, because Olivier Giroud went there, ex-teammates. All my ex-teammates pretty much go there. All Premier League teams, players
Would
go
you have
there.
liked to have gone to LA
I'd
Galaxy?
like to have gone to LA Galaxy.
Like, finish your career in LA?
Do you know what? I remember going
Technically,
out to
Olivier Giroud went to LAFC, but I'll let that slide, Theo.
Well, okay, thank
Technically,
you.
that's like the biggest technicality of all time, but yeah.
I remember when I was out in the States, actually, on
Bless him.
pre-season tour of
Bless
Arsenal, right?
Bless him. Yeah.
I actually said, I might come out of retirement just to play for... In fact, it was Dean Smith's Charlotte FC, funny enough. And
Really?
I thought, don't ever make decisions when you're away on holiday or you're away in... Not at home.
Yeah.
I said, if I still feel like this when
Good
I'm
shout.
at home,
That's a good shout.
then I'll
That's
go
a
from
great
there.
shout.
I obviously didn't make that decision.
That's why holiday romances never work out when
There
you
we
get
go.
home. Taylor, real quick, who's your Premier League team?
Liverpool, because I played for the great Stevie Nicol, and he would kill me right now if I said anyone else. That's literally
You
the only
worked with him
reason
at ESPN.
Worked with him at ESPN. He coached me for 8 years with the New England Revolution. Paul Mariner he's rolling in his grave right now. God rest his soul. Me not saying Arsenal. Sorry, Paul, but Stevie was the gaffer. I'll take Liverpool.
I love these questions. That's all we've got time for, though, this week, gentlemen. We're going to be back next Tuesday, brand new episode. We're going to break down all the biggest stories from the Premier League and in the United States, as we always do. We're also going to be talking to Fabrizio Romano this week, the transfer window guru and all things guru on social media. That episode is going to come out on Thursday. Don't forget to subscribe, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Remember, get in touch with your questions. We do at least one question from our community a week. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Theo, Taylor, we'll speak to you next week. Bye for now, everybody.